Hi guys, welcome to Extra Talk, another edition today with Sahbi.
Sup?
How are you, man?
I'm fine, man. How are you?
Yeah, good. Very excited today to talk to you. We have some things we want to discuss, and actually it's all about transfer window today. We know there are a couple of players that want to leave Ajax. We know that we have youth players that are close to the first team. I want to pick your brain today and know, how do you see these things evolve? Who of those youth players you think is close and should deserve to play for Ajax this season? And who of those youth players you think, well, maybe it's 1 year too early. Maybe they should go on loan. Maybe they should stay with young Ajax. So let's start with that first, with the youth players. What is your view on the youth player status at the moment? And you can go and name the players one by one if you want, but I just want to know what you think. And also take into consideration that there are many players that we know of that still have to sign and extend their contract because their current contract will expire next year.
Yeah. Well, to start with, of course, we have excellent youth players at Ajax. That having said, we got, of course, the known players: Unuvar, Brobbey, Hansen. Perhaps I'm even forgetting.
We have
Ekkelenkamp, Salahdin.
Yeah.
Well, for some of those players are really diamonds, like uncut diamonds. Those players should stay.
Which of those players should you consider diamonds?
Well, Unuvar, the ones I mentioned, basically. So
Okay.
Unuvar, Hansen, Brobbey, they're all players who needs to train more with the first team, to develop more, to gain more experience, perhaps getting more minutes at the first team.
Yeah.
It will be difficult, but I wouldn't expect them to play a lot upcoming season at the first team, but I do expect some minutes. And it's important for them to get those minutes. Otherwise, they could leave because they're still in negotiation with contracts, etc.
One of the things that are basically they're discussing or they want to know more about from Mark Overmars is, what are my chances not to play for the first team, but go a step back? How much chances do I get to train more with the first team and be more involved with the first team? Because practically this was not the case last season. I mean, exceptions for Dest and Gravenberch, perhaps. But the other, in the beginning. But the other youth players, basically, we haven't seen them last season. Maybe too early. Maybe this is their season.
No, well, I think it was too early because the players that I mentioned were first playing at under 19. They weren't even playing at the second squad of Ajax, the youth squad of Ajax.
Yeah, one of those players that almost didn't play for young Ajax, but really play for under 19 is Kenneth Taylor.
Yeah.
So this is one example. But also for him, same situation. Yeah. How do you see him? Do you think he should play for young Ajax this season?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course, it's a step. That will be the next step.
Okay.
You need to show the Ajax team, the management, that they can deliver at the Unuvar, that they are the best players, that he's one of the best players at the second team of Ajax. So and based on that, the next step would be the first team.
All right. So just from you, I want to know, if we go one by one, if we take those players, which players do you think, I want you to name the players that you think should get their chances for the first team, train with them more, and also get more minutes this season. Who would you mention then?
I would definitely give a chance to Unuvar.
Already?
Yeah, but
because he's one of the youngest of the bunch, right?
He's one of the youngest, but not by playing a lot of minutes, but to train with the first team.
Okay.
The same applies for Brobbey and for Hansen. Those are typical players that can grow every time they train with the first team.
Okay, but if we talk about Brobbey, right? Just to ask you this question.
Yeah.
We know that we have Tadic, number 9. Let's say he's going to play as number 9. We still don't know if Ten Hag is going to change something up front, because we also have other players. So let's say Tadic plays the same as last season, number 9. Then we have the backup, which is Traore. Traore is in front of Brobbey. Let's be honest.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. And then we also have Huntelaar still, which has a different role, but still. So we have 3 strikers in front of Brobbey. Do you think he will get his chance this season, or do you think it's perhaps better if he gets loaned out this season?
No, I don't think it's a good idea to get him loaned out. He played the second part of last season at young Ajax. He played very well. He scored some nice goals. but he's still not there yet. Mm-hmm. He can play. He can train with the Ajax first team, and of course he would be the fourth striker. But that wouldn't mean that he can't train with the first team and gain more experience. Huntelaar has 1 year. He had a 1 year extension. We all know as of next year he'll probably stop at least at Ajax. Mm-hmm. So that would leave him to be the third striker. And
so
of course,
this should be a bridging year, basically.
Yeah, and of course there's competition. As long as there's a plan, that's the main important thing. There should be a plan. If there's no plan, then of course I can imagine he wants to leave or he doesn't want to extend. Every youth player wants a plan, a learning plan, a curve to see in what way they can play at the first team. In what way, what do I have to do to gain, to start at the first team?
Okay.
Even be at the selection.
So let's move. Okay. So these are the youngsters, if I can mention that, if I can say it like that. Then we also have a little bit older youngsters, if I may go like that. Ekkelenkamp and Eiting, for instance. What do you think about them? Because we know Gravenberch signed an extension contract. We also expect Gravenberch to play more this season. What about Eiting and Ekkelenkamp? What should happen with those two?
Well, for Ekkelenkamp, I would say a loan will be the best. We already signed a new player.
But a loan to prove himself, or a loan that now is not the time for him, that he needs to get more experience first?
Both, because he doesn't play a lot. He will probably also not play a lot based on the transfers that we just had with Kudus. Next to that, he is not a player who really impressed me a lot.
But he also didn't get a lot of chances.
No, true. But
honestly,
probably because he's not good enough. Okay. Otherwise, he would already get those minutes. So I think he should evidence himself by getting loaned out to another team and show that he's one of the best in that team, and then come back and start fresh and probably even get a chance at the first team. But at this moment, I don't think he's capable of competing with the other players at the moment.
Okay, so we move to Karel Eiting. Karel Eiting, this week we heard also that Sampdoria, who came last year for him, is now inquiring again whether he's able, available for a transfer. Exactly. Yeah. How do you view that? Do you think Eiting still has a chance at Ajax, or do you think he has to start looking elsewhere?
No, Eiting really has potential. He should stay. He should definitely not leave us. He has potential. He reminds me of Schöne. He's left-footed. He is left-footed, but he got nice passing. He got vision. He's the perfect connector between the defense and attack. So we should give him more time.
Because he also had a very tough injury.
Exactly. So he had really tough injuries, which made him almost a year's
setback.
Yeah,
basically.
I mean, he played with Donny and with Frankie.
And
imagine that.
Even, yeah, exactly.
So that was years ago, and of course he needs time.
He's actually from the same era, right?
Exactly,
as those players.
and he played very well within that team together with Frankie and other ones. But this should be his year. If he doesn't show it this year, it will be difficult for him because
but
there's not a lot of patience.
No, I know. I mean, he's now at the age he really has to step up, or it's done.
Yeah, exactly.
Done and dusted, basically, for Ajax.
Yeah.
Look, the thing is with Eiting, right? He's left-footed. We know all what his position should be. He should play basically where Martinez has played this season.
Yeah, more controlling indeed.
Controlling midfielder. Yeah. And we know Martinez and him, they're both left-footed. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So a couple of weeks ago, in the video, you also mentioned that you're pretty certain, and I have to admit you're right about this, that Martinez might be the substitute left back for Tagliafico if he leaves.
Yeah, he will probably.
Probably they're already thinking ahead that they're going to shift Martinez to the left back position. That should give a position availability to Eiting. However, we now got Mohamed Kudus this week, a very exciting prospect. Everybody's thrilled about him. We saw some footage. I guess you saw some footage of him as well.
Some films.
The thing is, do you think Kudus will be a problem for Eiting this season? For him to develop on that, because Kudus is also left-footed. I mean, he's a bit both-footed, but especially left. And he's basically a midfielder, a bit more attacking than Eiting, I would say.
More attacking minded.
But I'm wondering whether they're going to put him as an 8 or as a 10. And especially if you consider we have Promes, we have Tadic, we have Antony, we have Neres.
Yeah.
So,
good question. It all depends on which players will remain, and
of course, I didn't even mention Donny, of course.
Exactly. So normally he would be playing at number 10, but I watched some footage of him during at his previous club, the Noord-Holland.
Yes,
and he played as right midfielder, but
coming in
as a 10. I saw him play. He really got pace. He has strength. He got vision, one-on-one dribbles, excellent. But you could see him as a box-to-box player because he runs a lot.
So he could play as a 10. He could play as an 8.
Exactly. So it depends on whether Donny remains or not. But I don't see him playing
in the role of Eiting.
No, definitely not.
I'm sorry.
No, definitely not.
Okay.
I'm more like, I don't see him playing at the beginning.
All right. Because, that's what you mean.
Yeah, I mean. He
has to get accustomed to everything.
Exactly, and everything. The league is.
But do you think they will put him in young Ajax first? Is that what you're saying?
Well, he will train. He will train definitely with the first team, and then maybe he can gain some minutes at the youth squad, of course, because he needs to acquaint with the system. I mean, the Eredivisie, even though they call it Mickey Mouse League, it's still a higher league than the Danish one. Mm-hmm. He needs to get accustomed with the playing style of Ajax, even Ajax
has to check what would be his best role, right? Or do you think they already know?
No, they should already know it, of course. But the only advantage is that he already knows the 4-3-3 style, but still Ajax is still has a different style than the of Noord-Holland.
Yeah.
I think he needs time to develop. I mean, the training level at Ajax is much higher than the training level at Noord-Holland. So he will need more time.
So you think that Eiting still has, basically coming to the answer of this question that I had, Eiting still has a possibility to develop himself, despite the fact that they brought in Mohamed Kudus.
Yeah. Basically also two different roles, totally different roles. Eiting will be more defensive minded, while Kudus is more attacking minded. So
basically, if we move a little bit further, Gravenberch would be the one playing next to Eiting then? Because there's no room as a 10 for Gravenberch.
No. He would be more of a controlling midfielder, Gravenberch. And as I said, it all depends on whether Donny will remain or not.
Of course.
Donny will definitely...
You don't think Ten Hag will switch and maybe put Gravenberch as a 10 and Donny as an 8?
No.
Next to Eiting?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, Donny plays excellent at number 10.
I think it's his best position.
Yeah.
But if you look at the team balance...
Team chemistry, then it might be that Donny will play at 8 position, but I don't see Gravenberch as a number 10. He would even put Promes or Tadic as 10 instead of Gravenberch, for example. So, and Tagliafico will most likely leave, which gives Martinez the possibility to go to the as left back. So... And we need a big squad because there are a lot of games to play.
Absolutely. So moving to the big squad, basically. Final thing that I want to discuss with you is the transfer window. What we know is the UEFA gave a recommendation for all the leagues that the transfer window can be opened at their own. Depending on when their league ends, and then it can stay open until the 5th of October. And that's a recommendation. Looking now, I have checked with all the major leagues, Spain, Italy, the Bundesliga, the Premier League. They're all taking that recommendation. So the international transfers will be until the 5th of October.
Yeah.
If you track it back now to the situation in which we're in, of course, Ajax will start the league in the first or second week of September. That means that there is a 3-week, maybe 4 weeks option still for big clubs to come and buy somebody from Ajax. And at the same time, we heard this week that Mark Overmars will attempt, but we know Overmars, of course, he will try to let Onana stay 1 year, maybe Donny as well. Maybe Tagliafico, I'm not sure about, but Onana and Donny, he will definitely try and keep them 1 more year.
Yeah.
How do you think we should cope with that? Because even if Onana's not going to say at this point, yes, I'm going to stay 1 year. I mean, unlikely because it's early still in the transfer window.
Yeah.
But till when should Overmars wait, knowing that this is happening, this transfer window until the 5th of October?
Good question. We all know that the first transfer window of the Netherlands will end on the 21st of July. And then there will be a break because they could only have 12 weeks consecutive to make use of the transfer window. I think it's clear for Overmars that he needs to make an agreement with his agent, the agent of Onana and from Donny and even of Tagliafico.
But look, the agents are selfish, right?
But what I want to say is they need to make an agreement stating before the league starts in the Netherlands, there's a fixed price which we would like to have once they want to leave.
But still, that will be a big problem for Ajax, because if you do that and somebody comes in with a price and we're already in the league and Onana leaves.
Yeah, of course. But then there should be a list. I mean, Overmars should have a list available.
Yeah, but the thing is, the later you sell a player, the shorter time you have to react. And that's
exactly, and that's what I'm trying to state. If the league starts, then Ajax should ask the jackpot for every player. Then the gentleman's agreement
is no longer
valid because we should not bring Ajax in trouble. I mean, it's their decision. I can imagine, like for example, if Chelsea didn't start that well in the Premier League, they would like to have an impulse buying by going to Tagliafico, for example. They can do that, but they will have to pay a jackpot. Give them 50, 60 million to see whether they want to pay that or not. Mm-hmm. If they want to pay 60 million, it will give us. Of course, it wouldn't be that well for Ajax having a star player leaving us, but it would give us a sufficient amount to search for a player that can take over.
And it's also good compensation.
And there's a list. Yeah, and there's a list. Okay. Available.
Yeah, I know, but the thing with list is you almost never get the first pick. That's the thing. It
depends on the price.
And also, if you move to another club, they're in the same situation. They will also say, "Listen, you're coming at the last moment."
Yeah, exactly. But it's never. There's no perfect solution for that. But there's nothing you can do about it. We had it with Sneijder. We had it with Zlatan.
True. That's why we should be able to avoid these things happening again.
Yeah,
but now
you can't avoid it.
Yeah.
But you can ask for a jackpot. I mean, that's how football works.
But the most important thing is that probably you should have an agreement with the agent and the player.
Yeah.
Before the league starts, like, listen, we need to hear from you if you agree on these terms, yes or no.
Exactly. You got until September to reach an agreement with a club, and the club needs to reach an agreement with Ajax.
Otherwise, you should devote yourself to us, basically.
Yeah. Okay. And you could only leave on our terms.
All right.
That's basically it, and there should be an understanding with each other.
Perfect.
There are a lot of weeks to go, so they have sufficient time to find a club.
It's going to be very interesting. We have to wait and see how things go.
You can expect fireworks.
But so far, the transfer window is very exciting for Ajax at the moment. Still.
At the moment, of course.
But things can change quickly, you know that.
Yeah. But Overmars knowing he has everything already under control and ready to take action.
Overmars, we trust him. So
yeah, definitely.
Sahbi, thank you so much today.